going, folks? Rob here. Welcome back to the channel on Forza Horizon 6 yet again. We're going to start off episode 1 of my test and review series, where the plan is to test and drive all the cars in the game, or at least as many as possible. So let's get straight to episode 1. Now, seeing how Forza Horizon 6 is set in Japan, we're going to take a look at a Japanese car with a Toyota badge made by BMW in Austria. This is the Toyota GR Supra, and after 20 or so years, it is really good to see the Supra name back out on the road. I'll be honest, when I first saw it, I didn't like the styling. It was trying too much to look like the old one, while also trying to be modern, and being stuck in the 90s and loving the Mark IV so much, so smooth, curvy lines with the older 90s cars. I didn't like the super aggressive look of this car, but over the years, like an ugly girlfriend that just sticks around, you kind of get used to looking at it. Unlike the older Supras, this Mark V is very aggressive in its styling from the front end, those wide hips at the back. Down the back, you got channels and vents everywhere down the side of the cars being carved and cut up. All about aerodynamics, I understand that, but yeah, at first I didn't quite like it. But like I said before, it has grown on me now, slowly. But at the time when this was released, the big controversy naturally was not so much the styling, and it was what was underneath that body. It is essentially a BMW, which upset quite a lot of JDM fans who have been waiting 20 odd years for the Supra to come back. Toyota partnered with BMW to make this car, and just about everything you see is BMW. You know, the exterior design, suspension, tuning is done by Toyota. Just about everything else is BMW. Not that that's a bad thing. BMW have a bit of history. They know how to make a good car themselves. But I think when you bring back the name Supra and so many people got such high expectations, the fact that it was essentially a BMW underneath pretty much upset a lot of people. And the fact that it wasn't made in Japan, it was made in Austria, which naturally upset a lot of potential buyers. Now, powering the Supra is a 3-litre turbocharged inline-6 from BMW. Puts out 335 horsepower, just under 500 torque. It's quite a punchy little engine, but we'll get onto that when we hit the track later on. Power sent to the rear wheels only through an 8-speed gearbox. All up, the car weighs about 1,500 kilograms. Having a look inside, like I said before, pretty much everything you see is from BMW. All the interior, all the styling, all the infotainment systems, everything. Now you can understand why JDM fans are upset, but it is still a well-made car. So let's hit the road. First up, going to do a sound test between Forza Horizon 5 and 6. Alright, first up for the performance test, going to do a high-speed braking test, 150 k's down to 0. You don't have to do this. I just like to do this so I can actually see what it does. This car was stopping about 46, 47 meters pretty consistently. It is pretty good for a sports car in its class. So we're going to do a high-speed run now down the track I just built last night. This is 5 kilometers long, completely dead straight, to get a proper test and find out what these cars can do without any interruptions from traffic and corners. So yeah, off the line, pretty good launch. 0 to 100, 3.7 seconds. 0 to 161 k's now, 9.2. That is about 100 miles an hour in under 10 seconds. Pretty quick. Checkpoint up here is exactly 1 kilometer long. That will squeeze by fairly quickly. This is a pretty quick car for what it is. Down here, top speed will hit 267 kilometers an hour. In the real world, apparently they're limited to around 250. So yeah, pretty good top end speed for its class. It's a low A class car. We've still got a long way to go, so I'll speed it up so you can see how we're going. There's no point watching the whole thing. Alright, for the final test for the Mark V Supra, I brought it here to the test track I built last night around here. We're in the downtown area of Tokyo. This took a little while to build. I wanted to make something a little bit more challenging than the regular circuits you get in the game. As much as I love the map, I like a little bit more of a narrow, complicated section. And some of these roads are a little bit wide, so this is all custom built just to make the cars handle a little bit better and make it a little bit harder on myself. Overall, this Supra, it handles really, really good. You know, have your faults about the car if it's made mostly by BMW. I believe the Mark VI is going to be rebuilt entirely in Japan. Hopefully that is true. That's probably just a rumor, but who knows. But despite all of that, with the BMW and being made in Austria, this is a brilliant little car to drive in game. It's got a near perfect weight distribution, fairly small wheelbase. It is really agile, rear wheel drive, so the back end will slide around. It can drift around if you want. Obviously, you can put on a ton of horsepower and upgrades and make this thing into an absolute weapon, but stock standard, it's actually quite fun. I don't mind the sound it makes. Got a slalom coming up here just to test about the handling of the car and how it shifts its weight. Like I said, near perfect weight distribution. Despite being rear-wheel drive, it handles being thrown around quite a lot. Now, it's one of those cars that's quite easy to drive pretty quick. It will slide. It's a rear-wheel drive car. What do you expect? It's going to do it. But overall, it is, because it's not too powerful, it's quite easy to maintain it. The braking is really good, which you saw back then on the brake testing. Little dabs of brakes on some of these corners. Again, this is a pretty fast sweeping corner. Not going flat chat, but the back end is really manageable to hold. Just a little bit of steering adjustment again. Overall, it's a really, really cool car. So I might change this track later on once I built my own, but for now we're going to be using this one. It's about 4.5 Ks long. I'll put the share code down below if you want to check it out. It's a nice little fun track to drive around. It's a little bit more challenging, as you can see, as my hands do some wonky stuff. They have changed the steering rotation, which does give that odd animation there. But overall, coming on the last bend here, pretty perfect car to drive and a ton of fun. So in the end, it did a 204.4. We got no idea if that's good or not, but currently as it stands now, the Supra GR is the fastest car in the game. So yeah, I'm Rob. Hope you enjoyed that. That's my look at the Supra. It's a pretty cool car, and with some upgrades and some body changes to it, the body kits, it looks pretty good, and it is a fun car to drive. So the plan is to do a full series of this. The idea is to do all the cars, but that probably won't happen. But this week I'm going to start with a lot of the pre-order bonus cars we got, some of the DLC cars. We'll check out some of those, and then gradually we're going to check out all the car pass cars, future DLC cars, and then have proper leaderboards for different classes, and hopefully find out what's good and what's bad. Might save you a bit of money. More than likely, like me, you're going to collect all the cars in the game anyway. But I'm Rob. Cheers for watching. Hope you've enjoying Forza Horizon 6. Be back in a couple of days for the next episode of Tested and Reviewed. So until then, see you later.